And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, a Thursday edition of the Paul Farrington Show. Paul joined alongside Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler, and the best executive producer in the game with the camera on him again, Zach Bloomquist, who totally big dicked me. Huge power move from Zach before the show as we were talking about how to intro it with the camera angles. I said, you know what, just start with the 3-up, and Zach goes, nope. We're gonna stick with the panning from you guys to Ziggy to me.
Zach is the producer.
He's the producer. No, I said I'm sorry. I overstepped. So we're allowing whatever Zach, like he's the man behind the cameras for a reason.
And now we don't know what's going on right now, right? Like it could be spinning with like firework effects and a loop-de-loop. We have no idea what he's doing.
Oh yeah, no, we never have it. So we can't.
But he makes it work. He makes it work.
We don't have enough equipment in here where we can see what it looks like live as we're going along on the show. So we're just trusting. Every show, Jack and I sit here with the computer screen faces Zach. He could really be doing whatever he wants, and we have no clue. But usually it turns out pretty good. So
he makes it work.
So we let him do his thing.
I mean, last videos got a couple hundred views. You know,
yeah, we've been doing a little bit better lately.
I've gotten
a couple hundred, a couple thousand.
Numerous compliments on the quality of our production.
Really?
I have.
Yep. Interesting.
Anyone
sliding into the DMs?
Couple people.
Yeah, not bad.
Don't forget to slide into all our DMs. We're all perfectly single.
Andrew is not here with us. We hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. We're sorry that we haven't had content sooner, but the holiday weekend kind of pushed us back a little bit. So that's why we're only coming out with probably one episode this week, but we'll have a bunch of breakout clips if you don't want to stick around for the entire show.
Too busy with dogs and noons this past weekend, but we're back on board.
Yeah, and a lot of arm wrestling too. Some arm wrestling at Jack's house, Andrew.
No, unfortunately.
Event. So real quick before we start today, Ziggy, I don't think you've heard this yet. I go over to Jack's house on Saturday or something like that for his sister's birthday.
Saturday, yeah.
And I get there about 6 o'clock.
Sunday.
I walk up to the front porch and I say like, "Hey, Uncle Evan, how's it going?" Jack's uncle's out there with his little cousin.
Old D1 player, by the way.
Basketball player. Uncle Evan looks at me and just goes, "Oh, ambulance is on the way." I said, "What? What are you talking about? like for who?" And he's just like, snapped his arm wrestling. He doesn't tell me who or anything. He's just like broken arm wrestling. And I'm like, oh God. So I run up the stairs into the house and I see Zach hunched over the table in the dining room. I just go, oh my God, no. Like with the whole year Zach has had, I'm like, this can't possibly be happening right now. Just looking, and the look on your face, as you watch our other friend who broke his arm, the look on your face was like, it looked like you had broken your arm. You looked very sad and in pain. So I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. And obviously I'm not happy to see our other friend with his arm broken. But
awful. Well, it's a quick recovery time, so hopefully he's all good.
Of course, now Andrew was the one who broke the arm, and Andrew felt horrible. Andrew was like sick to his stomach. So it was not a great
tough situation. But we were outside playing a little flip cup, and I'm the more, and it was like, oh, you guys should go arm wrestle. It'd be a good match.
The instigator.
I was the instigator. Yeah. So it's.
Apparently, Andrew had a position where he felt that he wasn't going to be moved, and Andrew knows a lot about the body, and all these, because that's what he studied in college. Like he knows how to arm wrestle, the technique. So our friend, even though he's a little stronger probably than Andrew, just didn't have the positioning. And as he's exerting all that energy, when he stopped, Andrew's like, "That's when I turned it on and tried to win," and just broke him, snapped his arm.
How do you break someone's arm wrestling? Like I still don't get it.
Humor. I thought it was going to be right here on the forearm.
So it was like
it was just a bad angle and
the humorous broke. So like right here, and apparently it sounded really disgusting.
So our friend had Andrew.
Oh, I'm sure you could hear it.
Like a tree branch is what people say.
It was like back and forth and stuck in the middle, and then you heard a snap, and I'm like, oh my God.
Poor Andrew felt just terrible.
Tough situation.
Things happen, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be okay. Andrew will be okay. It's all right. Thing of the past.
I could have prevented it if I had gotten there earlier.
It's it's funny. Everybody was blaming themselves. My sister's boyfriend was like, I was talking about stories during what's happening. I spoke into existence.
I think your sister's boyfriend. He had a little.
Everybody had a little piece.
Sorcery involved there, but anyway.
What about you, Paul? What did you do this weekend? You had something great this weekend too.
No, I went to the Taylor Swift concert. Ziggy, later on in the show, because we'll do a little football first. There were a lot of big celebrities at the Saturday Taylor Swift concert. Great concert, by the way. Tons and tons of fun. Aaron Rodgers was there. Miles Teller. Bradley Cooper. I sat 2 seats behind a megastar. And a megastar that you don't mind sitting behind.
The best megastar possible.
So That was going
I have to hear this.
That's going to sound way more inappropriate than I intended. I meant I didn't mean it that
way.
Well,
the folks are just going to have to listen if they want to find out
because a little later I'm going to tell Ziggy. These other guys know. I'm going to tell Ziggy who I was sitting behind and the move that I didn't make, we'll say.
I got a half chub now just thinking about
it. Oh, my God. All right. So with that said, again, please remember after that to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, or hopefully do not unsubscribe is a better call here. We're going to get into some football here. We're going to have NFL bandwagons. That's what we're going to start with. I'm going to mention about 6 or 7 teams or players, whether or not we are staying off of or hopping on the bandwagon for the season. Later on, we'll do a little bit of DeAndre Hopkins. Where could we see him going? We'll mention a few teams. And we end with the superhero draft. A pretty good panel right here to discuss superheroes. DC expert and Jack, maybe. Marvel fans here. So we'll see what happens.
I have my guys.
All right. We'll start with the bandwagons, like I said. Adam Shine, he wrote an article for NFL.com. That's where we're getting this off of. About players and teams to hop on their bandwagon going into the 2023 season.
I thought you said Adam Shine. I'm like, who's that?
No. I'm a big fan of hopping onto bandwagons myself. I know some people are anti-bandwagon, but, the more the merrier to me. If you're having a good time, just bring more people on. But we'll start. Go ahead, Ziggy.
I was saying, you don't want to be obnoxious about it, right? Like hopping on the Warriors bandwagon and talking about how great they are. That's no good. But, if it's just I hope the Falcons make the playoffs this year. People who are hopping on the Heat bandwagon after that first series, I don't care. Have some fun with it. Don't be obnoxious. I'm all for bandwagons. And that's as long as you're not a pretender.
But it's always fun to be on early, so that's why we're going to do this right now. Kenny Pickett, the first name. Are we hopping on the Kenny Pickett band? Not the Steelers.
Jack's off.
Not the Steelers, because we know that's a really light schedule. We've gone over them a few times. Check out some of the videos we've had. I, of course, had my complete 180 on the Steelers going into next season, but Kenny Pickett individually.
You're in your black and yellow today.
I am, yeah. Maybe it's a sign. There were a lot of ups and downs for him last year, and this offseason, Pittsburgh does a great job bringing in some help with the left side of the offensive line and free agency and the drafts. But last year, let's take a look at this. Kenny Pickett starts the season off 1-4, and that's if you include the Jets game where he came in for Mitch Trubisky. In those first 5 games, 2 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Philly, Buffalo on the road.
And that's exactly a great point. In Miami on the road, too. They did beat Tampa Bay and Tom Brady.
2-8.
But 2-8, not good. It wasn't a good start. We watched that Miami game together, and it was ugly. You would have won the game if not for it.
I mean, I thought that he played, believe it or not, pretty well in that game as a whole.
Was that the game where Tua had 3? Who had? I thought someone had 3.
No, Tua should have had 4 picks. We dropped them all.
You dropped. Yeah.
Pickett had 2 picks, but he drove us down the field late twice, and then the rookie mistakes came out.
But anyway, 5 games, a lot of interceptions. It's tough to adjust in the NFL. The final 7 games he played, though, I'm going to leave out the home game against Baltimore when he got injured and Trubisky came in. 6-1, 6 total touchdowns, 5 in the air, 1 on the ground, only 1 interception. 2 game-winning drives. He had 4 total. I think he had 4 total. But he had 2 touchdowns or 2 game-winning drives in the final 2 games of the year. I believe it was
against the Raiders and at Baltimore.
Maybe week 16, 17. 2 of the final 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2 of the final 3 weeks.
He had game-winning drives, and he finished 8th overall in QBR. So the first 5 versus the final 7 games he played, totally different Steelers team. Again, a lighter schedule down the final stretch. But you saw a different Kenny Pickett. You saw a more confident Kenny Pickett. And you saw someone who was a little bit more aggressive, too. So I'm going to say, I'll lead off. I am cautiously on the Kenny Pickett bandwagon. I think that he's going to have a solid season. I don't see a Jalen Hurts-esque leap, because then we're talking about an MVP, essentially. But I think that you're going to look at someone at the end of this year and say, he's definitely a top 16 quarterback in the league and probably fits in that 12 to 16 range, maybe 13 or 14.
That was such a cop-out answer, by the way.
What do you mean?
We're asking the question, are you on the train or are you not? I'm
kind
of on the train. Are you on the train or not on the train?
That's why Zach's good at what he does. Fine. I will say I am on the Kenny Pickett bandwagon for this season. I am officially on the bandwagon.
There we go. That's the answer we want to hear.
Welcome aboard, baby. That makes 2 of us. I was on the bandwagon the day he was drafted. And
You were on the bandwagon in college.
I was on the bandwagon in college.
Yeah.
And I am 1,000% on. It's the way that he finished the season. You're going to come into a team who's 1-4. You're a rookie. Your first NFL snaps. It's going to be tough, of course. Like you said, 2 game-winning drives late in meaningful, crucial, playoff-like scenario games. He was just down the field against Oakland, wins the game. on the road in Baltimore. In a game we lose, we're out.
You needed that game, yep.
Yeah, in a game we lose, we're out. On the road in a primetime spot, he takes us down the field, 80 yards, throws a touchdown pass to win the game.
The stats were great. On the 2 drives, he was like 6 for 7 and 7 for 9 or something. So under a minute left in each game. It was awesome.
I saw flashes from Pickett for a 23, 24-year-old kid last year where I could tell this guy is going to be a very good quarterback. He's got some weapons. The offense is pretty decent. I think it's a team who can win 11 games. I think he's going to be very good. And like we said, in Miami, right? Like we saw growing pains. Like he had those, and of course you're going to see it.
Yeah.
But he led us down the field against a good Dolphins team again on the road.
You could have won that
twice in the final 5 minutes. Could have won it through a pick in the end zone, didn't. But I love what I saw rookie year. I think he's only going to get better. I'm super big on the bandwagon.
I gotta tell you, I'm not on the Kenny Pickett bandwagon. But that's only because let me finish. I'm on the Najee Harris bandwagon.
What the hell?
You look at what the Steelers team has done in the offseason. They have added a lot of meat to that team's bones, right? They got Broderick Jones out of Tennessee. They got Darnell Washington out of Georgia, that huge tight end. He calls himself the 6th lineman. One acquisition I haven't seen people talking about a lot, Isaac Sumalo. He was like one of the big guards.
Addition. Yep, from Philly.
Yeah, but I think that this team's identity is going to go towards a lot of running. The things that made the offense successful in the second half of the season was that they found a run game, right? They were able to bring in Najee Harris. They were able to convert a lot of those third downs that made them struggle earlier in the season. So I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to be asked to do as much this year as he was last year. And I think that's going to be good for the Steelers. I worry a lot about Matt Canada. Steelers fans have been on and off of him for a while, mostly off. But I don't think that if we're expecting Kenny Pickett to establish himself as a dominant QB and put up big numbers, I just don't think that's going to happen because I don't think that's how this team wants to operate. I think they want to be run first, second, and third, and then have Kenny Pickett tossing short passes to whoever's in the slot to make up the difference.
So then I guess it comes down to you're defining the bandwagon as being top 12 quarterback?
Well, listen to what Jack said, right? He made it seem like Kenny Pickett's going to be carrying this team to victory week in, week out.
Well, I just
think the run game's going to play a bigger role.
Okay. So, but are you expecting any sort of jump from Pickett? A little bit of a jump, maybe not a leap, but
he'd better. If he doesn't improve this year, not that he was terrible last year, but he's got to improve if he wants to establish himself as a quality NFL quarterback.
Well, we can all agree too that the Steelers. We're talking about the playoffs for them.
I'm not going to complain about a good run game.
Of course not.
If our run game's good, that opens things up.
But the Steelers going, let's say even to the divisional round. He does need to take a step forward for sure. What you got last year from him, as good as the end of the season was, they're not a divisional playoff team without a leap.
I worry that we're going to see a lot of. Yeah, I worry we're going to see a lot of what we've seen with the Steelers. They have a pretty good regular season, solid defense, powerful run game, medium play at quarterback that comes back to haunt them in the playoffs. Okay. So for that reason, I think they're going to have a good season, but I'm off.
I got it. And one thing too that Pittsburgh, you guys, haven't you been in Kansas City your past 2 playoff games?
We were at Kansas City. We got mopped, and then I forget who before that. No, then we lost it.
You had the Browns game somewhere in there.
Lost at home to the Browns. That was the second to last.
So you didn't play Kansas City twice in the playoffs?
Twice,
okay.
No.
But winning the division is a possibility this year.
But that was the game at Kansas City with a 90-year-old
Big Ben who just couldn't go toe-to-toe.
You had no chance. Yeah, no chance.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? If you had won, you would have played in Kansas City this year, right?
If we had beaten Cleveland at home.
There was a scenario because they wound up being the one, and at the time it was you would have played them. That's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, it was just winning the division is just so important. Getting that first playoff game.
It's winnable. It really is. We split with the Bengals last year, beat them once on the road.
Yeah.
I think there's a world you can say we're better than the Browns and the Ravens. That's possible.
It's going to come down to those final 3 games, I believe. As we talked about in the Steelers schedule breakdown video, which is also up on YouTube. Go ahead, Ziggy. Final thoughts here before we move on?
Yeah, the thing I'm most excited to see from Kenny Pickett this year, he didn't get a lot of experience last year, but going into this year, they are expecting him to be a quality starter and a big-time leader on the team. I'm really excited to see how he develops in his leadership and sort of running the offense and the kind of quarterback offensive coordinator synergy that Canada's always liked. I'm interested to see what happens there.
You know what? My final thought too, another minor thing that a lot of people probably wouldn't look at as a huge deal, but I do from a rookie, is the last game of the season, we're at home against a team that we're better than in Cleveland, a team we should beat, a must-win game. Like we needed to win, right? And the Jets needed to beat Miami, which they didn't do. But must-win game at home against a better team, and he gets the job done in a blowout fashion. And a lot of the time, rookie quarterback, you wonder, does he falter in that type of situation? He did not. He was awesome down that stretch.
And the 2 games before that, like we just said, 2 game-winning drives. So it was an impressive end to the season.
It was awesome to see. So for that reason, too, I'm very on board.
All right. There you go. Kenny Pickett. Number 2, Ziggy teased this earlier. The Atlanta Falcons. We've mentioned them a few times this offseason. Arthur Smith, as head coach, has gone 7-10 in both of his seasons in Atlanta. We know Desmond Ridder. It took him a little bit of growing pains as well last year. He did improve in each game of the 4 that he started last year towards the end of the season, and he's got some help now. I know you guys don't like Bijan Robinson too much here or where they got him, but he's got Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, a lot of weapons in Atlanta. I'm still concerned about the defense, even with the Calais Campbell, Jesse Bates, Bud Dupree additions. I'm staying off right now for now, but a lot of people are gassing this team up and thinking that they could potentially be a double-digit win team, given the schedule that they have. I'm off Atlanta at the moment.
You want to go, Ziggy, or want me to go?
You know, Desmond Ridder is one of the biggest ranges of outcomes in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
You know, he's a 3rd-round quarterback. A lot of times those guys don't work out well, but he showed enough to make you think he might be a competent starter. I don't think, sort of like I feel of Kenny Pickett, I don't think Desmond Ridder is going to impress a lot this year, but I think the pieces around him, right, the big body possession receivers who can get the ball, Bijan Robinson, a competent offensive line, a decent run game coordinator, offensive coach, and Arthur Smith as the head coach of the team. I think the Falcons are going to put together a ho-hum year, and I just don't see this offense taking off. So I am pretty firmly out on Ridder and the Falcons offense.
I lean. I'm gonna give a cop-out answer too, which Zach won't like.
Oh, wait. But before you,
I lean all like I'm off. But the thing is with Atlanta, I'm not gonna say they're not a good football team.
I thought you hated them.
Oh well, I'm reverting what I said in the last episode. I did, but then I looked at that division and realized how bad it's going to be. Like you're competing with Baker Mayfield, and you're competing with a rookie and Bryce Young with a mediocre Panthers team. I don't know how they're gonna be. And the Saints.
And the Saints are... people are talking about... to understand just how bad the NFC South is right now, people are talking about the Saints like a juggernaut in that division. So like, they got good defense, and Derek Carr, I like Derek Carr, but by no means is that they're not even a top 3 or 4 NFC contender. Maybe even top 5.
So I'm off because the Falcons aren't a good football team.
Okay.
But I'm not like a hard off, like, they have no chance. They do a little bit because who they play 8 times a year.
Okay.
But having an easy division doesn't mean a whole lot, right? Like look at the AFC South last year. Did the Texans and Colts benefit a lot from having an easy division? No, if you're a bad team, you're a bad team and you're not going to win games.
But what if you go 5-1 in the division? That's 5 wins right there.
They won't. They're not good.
You know, the rest of that Falcons schedule, though, it's the NFC North and AFC South as well. So there are a lot of winnable games. Like, if you go through that schedule, they should get to 7 wins again. And I think that their ceiling probably caps out at around 10. So there's a world where they could get to that double-digit mark if Ridder, really, if he's just like a little bit above average, they could have a good team.
I mean, I think, and people disagree, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars last year benefited from a poor division.
Oh, they're a good team, but they definitely benefited from the South.
I don't think Jacksonville is great, and they're playing with the Colts and the Texans and Tennessee.
So you think even though I mean they took Kansas City to the wire, but a lot of people are talking about them taking a big step this year.
They were down 30 in the playoffs at home. Like I'm not high on that.
It's a great point.
I'm not. I think they benefit from a bad division.
Okay, so we're all off of Atlanta.
I'm off Atlanta.
Ziggy's a hard off. Jack is
I'm a light off.
Light off, and I am also a light off. We got no hard ons for the Atlanta Falcons on this show.
I do like Des Ridder. Ridder's my boy.
Okay, we got a couple more here. We'll speed it up a little bit, but Garrett Wilson, the 2022 Offensive Rookie of the Year, 83 catches, 1,103 yards, and 4 touchdowns last season with Zach Wilson, Mike White, and Joe Flacco. He gets a bright, shiny new toy in Aaron Rodgers. Perhaps a vengeful Aaron Rodgers, too. We think he's mad on this show. We're all pretty sure that he's going to come in with fire to New York this year. I am 100% buying Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, of course.
And I know Andrew, if he were here, would be saying, oh, he's going to be the number one receiver in the league. I'm not that high, but I can see definitely a top 10 season from him this year. This guy, Aaron Rodgers, is already talking very highly of him early on, comparing him to Devontae and Jordy Nelson in some ways. I'm big on Garrett Wilson. I'm on the hype train.
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, he put up fantastic numbers with terrible quarterbacks. I think it's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Are you buying it for, let's say, the hype train or the bandwagon is a top 10 receiving season?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you
one
stop?
One of the best QBs ever?
Top 7?
I'd probably go top 10.
Okay.
I'd say 8 to 10.
8 to 10?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm buying him, of course.
I think he's going to come in at like 6 or 7. I think he's going to have a fantastic season.
How could he not, right? Unless he gets hurt. Unless he's...
Ziggy. I don't know about it.
Look, Aaron Rodgers is a difficult quarterback to play for. You look at guys in their first season of Aaron Rodgers, like the guys who turned to be great, right? Like Jordy Nelson put up 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. Randall Cobb put up 370 yards and a touchdown.
I do want to just...
Devontae Adams put up 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you can say, well, yeah, they were rookies, whatever. Look what he did in his first year. But we saw last year, again, all of these rookie receivers are having a hard time adjusting to playing with Aaron Rodgers. I think that people are really excited because Wilson gets Aaron Rodgers, but we know he's a difficult guy to play for. Rodgers says it himself.
Wilson's such a good receiver. Say it themselves.
Like, getting chemistry of this guy is difficult. It takes time. Expecting Garrett Wilson to light up the league, I think, is a little bit too. It's presumptive. You're assuming that Aaron Rodgers is going to step in day one with chemistry with these guys, and I just don't think he is. There's going to be miscommunication. It's going to hurt the early part of the season. So people who are saying this guy's going to be a top 5 receiver in the league, a top 10 receiver in the league, I don't know.
I think sometimes chemistry is so overrated.
I don't even know if it's over. I think he will.
Guys don't do well, veteran or rookie. No one does well in their first year with Aaron Rodgers. It just doesn't happen.
Christian Watson blew up the second half this season. People are talking about him could potentially be the one in Green Bay. Like that's actually a possibility.
There were some obvious problems between Big Ben and AB that the whole world didn't see, and they were great.
I think Wilson. I'm feeling like a top 7 campaign for him this year.
Yeah, of course.
But you know what, Ziggy? I have to say,
look, I mean,
good numbers.
Ziggy, I'm hoping that you're right because I hate the Jets. I hope they go like 6 and 10 and just bust. So I hope you're correct.
Those guys too, though, were rookie. Like, do we know the snap counts and everything? Like, who was coming into? How much were they playing in those
Look, Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson, like they got 50, 60, 70 targets each.
I'm trying to remember who were the ones on those Green Bay. Like when Cobb came in and Nelson was there, was Greg Jennings still like the one? Like Wilson is the established alpha dog in that room.
I saw it.
I get it, but Christian Watson was the established alpha dog for most of last year, but 650 yards.
No. Christian Watson.
Who was the alpha dog last year? Who was the alpha dog last year?
There was no one that Rodgers came in.
That means it was Christian Watson.
No, you can not have an alpha. But it was like, what the hell? Who's he throwing to? Is the question mark. Like Garrett Wilson, we know that he's a stud. And we didn't know that about Watson or Romeo Doubs, and I don't think they are. I think they're solid, but like. No, I don't think any of them are a 1 in the league. But again, to each his own.
I saw this funny clip back when Rodgers was at was it a combine or some? I don't know if it was a combine or not, but it was some when he was still at Cal, some event they had in Miami for like the future draft picks, and he was interviewed by this supermodel, and she asked him, Aaron, talk us through your whole experience here in Miami. Like how, just what were your thoughts? And he's like, I had a great time with the guys. And he looked at her. He's like, had a great time with you. In a very flirty voice. So I'm like, he might be a pretty good mentor for Zach Wilson as well. So chemistry could be great, Ziggy. They're on this whole locker room.
Well, apparently he's getting along great with everyone. They're saying he's like another coach on the field. It's all.
What are they going to say? The guy we just traded a first round pick for.
It's the
he sucks. Phase. No one's getting along with him. There's tension. He's a lazy bum. I'd
rather hear that he's teaching everyone and engaged. Like I think that
there's nothing else they would say.
But Jordan Love's coming out saying he was a great teammate. I think Rodgers gets a little bit too much criticism sometimes, and he deserves it once in a while, but I don't think he's a bad dude.
No,
I'm not saying he's a bad dude. I'm saying he's tough to work with.
Teammate.
We'll see.
I think he's a better teammate than people think. Again,
just watch.
You think Zach Wilson's making him eat his words, whatever he said?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
We'll see.
I stopped reading the article when it got to the Zach Wilson part, so maybe he's having a good start to OTAs. DeMeco Ryans. I'm a little worried about this one. I do think that DeMeco is a great coach. As we saw in San Francisco, he did some great things there. But the worry I have with him, despite, again, all the glowing remarks that he has, is you do need talent. Bill Belichick is struggling without Tom Brady right now.
Oh, I've always, yeah.
You see, go to the NBA. Greg Popovich. The Spurs have not been very good over the past few years without Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, even when Kawhi left. Coaches can take you so far, but I do think that great coaches still need great players. The other way around, like if you have a great player and they have a great coach, that's when you can become have a dynasties. But in order for a great coach to achieve unbelievable things, I do think that you need that great player with them. And look, we could look in a few years and say CJ Stroud is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Will Anderson is an absolute monster off the edge. There's a world where that happens, and DeMeco Ryans could play a very critical role in that. But for this season in particular, I'm not buying all the hype. I think Houston's going to struggle a lot. There will be a lot of growing pains. That's a word we've used a lot right now. So a long way to go in Houston. I am off the bandwagon, and I'm not even sure if I'd be on it for the next 2 years.
I'm off on any head coach that doesn't have good players. I think that Andy Reid, if he coached the Texans, they'd still stink. And if Romeo Crennel coached Patrick Mahomes, he'd win a Super Bowl. So I'm off.
Paul, I have a couple questions for you guys. I want to think about this. What happens when you have a really bad quarterback and a really great defense? You get the Jets last year, right?
Or you could get like the Ravens and win a Super Bowl.
No, but Joe Flacco was good. I mean, a bad quarterback.
No, I'm talking what's his face?
Like the Kyle Baller days.
Bald dude on ESPN. Why can't I remember his name?
Bald dude on ESPN.
He was the quarterback for the.
Maybe we'll comment on this TikTok.
For the Ravens.
Go, isn't
he? Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Dilfer? Was Dilfer? Trent Dilfer?
Yeah, Trent Dilfer.
Okay.
He's the UAB coach now.
Yeah. So okay. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, but good defense, bad quarterback, bad news. What happens when you have a great quarterback and a bad defense? Good news. What position did DeMeco Ryans play in the NFL? Answer linebacker. He was a Pro Bowl. What kind of coordinator was he in San Francisco?
A D coordinator.
Yeah, I am out on every single head coach in the NFL who does not have an offensive background. I think that the most important thing is having an elite quarterback. You look at the successful coaches in the NFL, the guys who are good year in, year out. They are basically all guys of offensive backgrounds. You look at the championship round last year, 4 quarterbacks who have an offensive background. You look at the divisional round, 7 of 8 had a defensive background, or an offensive background, excuse me. Like, these are guys who are able to take quarterbacks and make them great. And I just don't think DeMeco Ryans can do that. And if by his luck, he finds an offensive coordinator who will do that, that offensive coordinator is just going to leave for a head coach job. It is incredibly hard to succeed without elite offensive quarterback play. And I'm just not sure DeMeco Ryans is going to be able to provide that consistently.
Have you been on anything? Anyone? You're off on everyone so far.
It's all your play. It's all players. Coach Belichick's the prime example of that.
Yeah. Did you see Steve?
But to say it's all players, the players have to improve and they have to be in a good system.
Yeah. Steve Kerr mentioned that if he had taken the job with the New York Knicks, he said, I wouldn't be coaching right now. If I had taken the Knicks job over the Warriors.
I mean, look at the past of the worst team in the AFC.
But now I think Steve Kerr's a great coach who, when he had the players he had, that's like they were able to form a dynasty because it all just worked together. I think there are some coaches who, if they were coaching the Warriors, they'd probably win a championship, but maybe not 4. Or what are they at? They're at 4 now, right? Like, I do think that greatness and greatness rely on each other to produce a dynasty. But in terms of winning a championship, yeah, it's much more important.
I mean, like, Brady won a Super Bowl. Who was a Bucs head coach when Brady won a Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, no. You don't need a great coach to win one Super Bowl. If you have a great
Here, Bruce Arians is not a bad coach, and the offensive stuff he did with Brady helped out quite a bit.
I know, but it's not. He's not Belichick.
Let's make this one fairly quick and we'll talk about them more as the season goes on. The Detroit Lions, who We actually had a comment. Someone asked, can you talk about them more over the course of this season? And if they're winning, 100% we will, because they're going to go head to head with Ziggy and my Minnesota Vikings.
Are we buying the Lions, we're saying?
Are we buying the Lions this year?
I'm buying the Lions, yeah.
You're big into
Yeah,
them?
I think they're the best team in that division.
Oh, really?
I do. I think you have a value play at what, plus 350?
I think we're down now to 310 or something like that.
310. I mean, I think it's a value play, but no, I think the Lions are the best team in the division.
There's a ton of talent on that team. And let me...
Good offensive weapons.
Yeah, let me
boosted
clarify
defense.
here. I don't want to just say that I'm a Vikings fan, so automatically I'm anti-Lions, because they're rather irrelevant to me most of the time. Like right now, they are definitely on the radar. But I do think there's a lot of reasons to be excited. I don't think Goff is going to be as good as he was consistently down the stretch last year. What was it? The final 9 games, they were 8-1 or something like that. And he was really, really good. People are talking about him. Someone was commenting the top 5 quarterback in the league. And I don't think he's top 10. I'm not even sure, like maybe cracks the top 15. People
no, he's slightly above average. He can play in a good system.
People are high on Jared Goff. I do think the Detroit roster as a whole has gotten a lot better this offseason too. They've really boosted up the secondary. They have really good players on the D line. If Jameson Williams can, if they can stop gambling, maybe they'll be in better shape. But
another player's under investigation.
Yeah,
the pressure's on them now, though. Like, when was that?
For the first time in a long,
the last time
long
the
time.
Lions supposed to be good with expectations through the roof.
Yep.
When?
But Lions fans, I'll say, I am on the bandwagon.
So am I.
Clearly I will not be supporting the bandwagon, but I am a part of that ride, I'd say, in terms of I believe in them.
The Lions have a good core on offense. The one thing last year was their defense was bad. Like, teams would score a million points on them.
Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible. It was the worst in the league.
Yeah,
the
worst
Vikings.
in the league. They've improved it. So I think they're pretty good now on both sides of the ball.
Would I be surprised at all if they came out and Goff was just miserable? Was it you, Zach, who said there's a reason the Rams got rid of him a while ago? It's like, I'm not. I'm on. I think they're good, and I think Goff will have a good season. But it would not surprise me at all if this hype all exploded in their face.
There's good weapons on Detroit where Goff is good enough where he's going to be totally fine.
You think so?
Yeah, he has 2-3 very good weapons to throw to.
Well, let's see. Is this finally the one for Robert Ziggy Ziegler?
Oh, Ziggy's on, of course.
There are 2 Jared Goffs. There's the Jared Goff that went 1-7, and there's the Jared Goff that went 8-1.
Something like
that. 7-1.
Yeah, like those are the 2 Jared Goffs you got. You got the Jared Goff who could function well in the system and deliver a lot of great passes. You got the Jared Goff that sucked and couldn't bail out the defense. Lions haven't won a division in 32 years. They're not winning it this year either. I am hard in on them extending it to 33. I just don't look. You're giving me the ones I don't believe in. I'm sorry. There are others on this list that I'm all in on.
We're 5 deep. It's like 7.
How much on the list?
There's 2 more left on the list here.
I'm in on both of those.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're 5 deep. All right. 2 more here. Calvin Ridley with the Jaguars right now. 2020, remember. It was a long time ago now, but 2nd team All-Pro, 90 catches, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. I remember one of our good friends had him on his fantasy team the following year. And it was just like waiting and waiting and waiting. The mental health issues that year, he sat out a few games. And then, of course, 2022, he suspended for gambling as well. Just, maybe he should have been on the Lions. But he joins Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, all of them with Trevor Lawrence, a young, exciting core there in Jacksonville right now. And one of the bigger additions, you could say, he's been on the team for a while, but a big addition coming into that team, especially, if he could be anything close to what he was a few years ago, that'll definitely catapult that offense. I'll say right now, I am going to be off the bandwagon in terms of Calvin Ridley coming in and being close to that 2020 form. I do think he will be a very nice addition and come in and play probably the wide receiver 2 role to Christian Kirk, even though people want him to be the 1. In terms of production, I think that you're going to look at a Calvin Ridley who's effective but not a superstar.
I'm totally off on Calvin Ridley.
Totally off?
Yeah, totally off.
Really?
I hate it when you're playing in the NFL and then you don't play and then you come back.
It's hard to come back.
And in his situation, he's playing with a young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence who still has his growing pains. I think it's going to take a while for these two to establish something in Jacksonville. So I'm off on Calvin Ridley. I hate taking some time off and coming back to the hardest.
He hasn't played football in what 2.5 years by the time this is done, or 2 years.
I hate when you take time off and try to come back. It's tough to do. With a young quarterback, I'm off.
It is tough to come back, but what I see is you are pairing an alpha receiver with an ascending young quarterback, and we just know that's a formula for success in the NFL. Right, you saw it with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. You saw it with Joe Burrow taking that step forward with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, but Jamar Chase and Stephon Diggs weren't out for 2 years in a row.
2 years.
No, I get it, but I really think Calvin Ridley, even when he was putting up 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns, was an underrated player. I don't think he was ever seen as a true number one alpha. He struggled in 2021 because he had a lot of mental difficulties. He was out for the gambling. But it looks like he's been staying in shape. He's making an immediate connection with Trevor Lawrence. And the fact is, in an offense that was already pretty good, you're adding a genuine alpha number one receiver. I think Calvin Ridley goes for 15 and double digit.
15 and double digit touchdowns?
Yeah, straight up. I think that's what we're getting.
I think it's one of the hardest things to do is take 2 years off and come back to the NFL.
Is he? I'm trying to remember his numbers before he had the mental
health. It was 14 and 9 was his best season.
No, before,
that 2020 season.
In 2021, before he took time away from Atlanta.
It was like 280 and 2. But no, but he was having mental struggles, and honestly, that 2021 Falcons team was bad.
But we haven't seen consistent production ever in his career. Like, he just had one great season so far. He was good before.
I mean, his first 2 years were very good. In 5 games starting, he put up 800 yards and 10 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. He got injured in 2019, still put up like 900 yards and 8 touchdowns. Like he produced when he was healthy in it.
And then he exploded in 2020, but
I'm also not as high as most people on Trevor Lawrence yet.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not super high on Lawrence,
I'm not. I think the Jags are a 500 team. He's a mediocre quarterback. Like if they lost to Tennessee last year, they're not being talked about. They beat Josh Dobbs in Week 17 to go to the playoffs. Like, congrats.
Can you imagine having Ridley on a podcast and you're like, "You high on the Falcons this year?" He's like,
he's like, I have their over.
He's like, I'm high. I'm high on Ritter.
I got their over.
All right, last one here for the bandwagon before we do a little bit of DeAndre Hopkins. Are you on the bandwagon for the Daniel Jones to Darren Waller connection in New York? Ziggy, I'll let you take the lead on this one. Why don't you take point here, Ziggy? Because you wanted this added to the list.
I mean, look. Daniel Jones put together a decent year last year of one of the worst receiving corps in the NFL, maybe the worst. Darren Waller, we know when he's healthy, can be that guy. They've made a good connection in OTAs, right? Daniel Jones, I think on his first day went 19 for 20, and everyone was raving about him and Darren Waller. Why? Because Darren Waller's a hard worker, he's reliable, and he's really, really, really good at football. So I think Daniel Jones is going to take a decent step forward, right? The Giants believe in him. They think they've got a guy who's able to be an above-average quarterback. And we saw him be an above-average quarterback with absolutely no help.
You forgot
to they've got a decent offensive line.
He's really, really good at football, and he very rarely plays anymore.
He had one season where he was injured a lot.
He played 9 games and 11 games past 2 years. He was great the past, if you go back 4 years now, in I believe it was 20, whatever the years. So that past 2 years he's been hurt. 2 years before that, 1,200 yards basically each season. So yeah, there's a ton of talent. I'm not going to argue with that. The injury concerns are absolutely a concern moving forward for Waller. How old is he now? Is he about 28 or something like that? Maybe
he's in the late 20s.
Late 20s. I will say if he's able to stay healthy, I am 100% buying Darren Waller because, like you said, he's just a very good receiving tight end and should function as the number one receiver on that team.
Oh, I'm buying it big time.
Just don't hurt your hamstring. It's that simple.
Just don't get hurt, Darren.
So it's one thing if the Giants had weapons galore,
yeah,
and DJ had so many guys to throw to. If he had an alpha or two, but they don't. And in this division with Philly and Dallas, teams who could score, you need these weapons,
and they got good corners too.
And you look, yeah, they do. You look at how important this position is. We've seen like their security blankets, their bailouts. We saw Heath Miller for years, Antonio Gates, Jason Witten. To have a good tight end is an awesome thing, especially for a quarterback who the Giants need to really take a leap up to have any sort of chance of doing much. So I'm super high. Injuries aside, I'm super high on this.
And we'll see too. We'll see too if they're able to extend their vertical passing game a little further down the field. Apparently, they've been working on that a lot. At least today, I saw some articles that Daniel Jones had a good day of practice going deep. They're trying to add that element. We saw that with Jalen Hyatt too. He's able to take the top off of defense, especially at Tennessee throughout his college years. Darren Waller, Daniel Jones is pretty good at the little check down plays, and Waller's a matchup problem because he's just so big and so quick. So I do think that he could come in and again stay healthy. He should be very good. He should return to a top 5 tight end in the league this year because the past 2 years, high expectations, and as my fantasy team knows very well.
And look, if you're
not high returns,
if you're Daniel Jones and you're rolling around looking for something broken play, teams with good tight ends, they're there. Waller's going to be there, and I think that's a super important thing for him. So I'm buying it. I'm on the bandwagon.
Yeah, like you mentioned, not many receivers last year, Ziggy. From watching the Vikings and Giants at the end of the year, I started to become accustomed to a few of the guys. But Jack, like, can you name how many receivers can you remember from the Giants last year?
Richie James,
Richie James,
Isaiah
Hodgins,
Slayton.
Darius Slayton, Hodgins.
Yeah,
Wan'Dale Robinson.
That's why I'm super on board with the Waller for sure.
Tony went over to Kansas City, right?
Shepard.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of guys.
Daniel Bellinger was their number 3 receiver.
Right, but yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, what is he? He like the tight end fullback. He was with the Vikings for a while, Bellinger.
Yeah, he was that tight end fullback who converted and played 12 games for them.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
it was a disaster.
Waller could have a big year.
Yeah, I'm super on board.
Over 1,000 yards.
If he plays 15 games, yes.
He plays 12 games.
He plays 12.
I mean,
games,
look, he was 665 and 2 touchdowns in 11 games. And then 338 and 3 in 9 games over the past 2 years. Like that's
a lot of that was like he had a lingering hamstring injury last year. The Raiders offense was not good. I'm just saying there are explanations
for the Philadelphia Eagles. Is it worth Darren Waller? No. For the Giants, yeah.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Bandwagon teams where Ziggy's off most, but he came on hot at the end with Calvin Ridley and the Giants. And
Ziggy's going 2-5.
Jack and I, we're pretty positive guys here. We were on a lot of bandwagons.
Yeah, I was like 5-2.
Someone's got to keep you guys in check. We don't want a bunch of bandwagon fans here.
All right. Well,
I'm a natural bandwagon fan.
Before we hit the DeAndre Hopkins and Zach, how are we looking on time here? We're doing pretty good.
42 minutes, so it depends on.
Okay, so maybe this could be split up. We'll see how it goes. But I wanted to tell you, Ziggy, about the the Taylor Swift concert. Who was in attendance? So
let it go.
Me and my brother, we went with Lauren, my sister, and one of her friends.
My former fiance.
Your former fiance, yeah.
My current fiance.
Jack's current fiance. That's not true. In case you're wondering. So we go to the Taylor Swift concert, and I'll say publicly, I lied today on the phone when I was talking to a potential financial advisor, which so one of my friends. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do it. But it was good to get the information. When talking about him, we were talking about the concert a little bit, and he asked if I was a big Swiftie. I was like, I'd say I'm a fan, but I'm not. I'm not one of them. I was like, I probably am. Like the concert was great. It was amazing. I'm just not like a big emotional singer when I nod my head. So anyway, we walk into the concert and Matt and I are just sitting down and he looks at me. He's like, "Is that Livy Dunn?" And I look up and I actually see her sister first. And I'm like, "Yep, that's them."
Who?
Livy Dunn, the LSU gymnast.
How do you know the gymnast at LSU?
Ziggy.
So you don't know Livy Dunn?
Very popular
Olivia
gymnast.
Dunn.
Olivia Dunn, sure.
Who?
Super.
So she's a gymnast at LSU. Can you name any other gymnasts? What's special?
Look, a lot of people know who Livy Dunn is.
She's like NIL.
Well, she's from around here.
She's the highest paid NIL.
She's the highest paid female athlete in college sports.
She's on what was it? Sports Illustrated swimsuit.
Yeah, she just got on the swimsuit.
I think that
was is it that kind of interest?
Well, look. I mean, for a lot of people, yes, but obviously, I am a mature.
How good is she, Paul? I just want to know how good is she at gymnastics?
She's very good at gymnastics.
Is she one of the 3 best players on that team? Is she one of the best 3 athletes?
I don't know. I know they have. I know they have a stud. So she's not one, but I imagine she's top 3. I think she's a very good. She
trains right here, like 10 minutes down the road from us. And
but anyway, so she's absurdly popular. Matt's like, "Is that Livy Dunn?" And I'm like, "Yup." And instantly, Matt and I find ourselves in a position that millions of people around the world would love to be in, where we are 5 feet, 6 feet away. Like I could lean down and tap her on the shoulder and be like, hello. So I'm sitting there for about 3 minutes. I'd say 3 minutes, 180 seconds. I am sitting there trying to concoct in my head an intro move for me or my brother in this situation. However, by the end of this, I look and like she's with her family, with her mom and her sister, and like looks like a friend. So I was like, you know what? Let me just leave the girl alone for once in her life. We'll let someone leave her alone. So I did not make a move.
You know, I would have made a move.
I know you would have made a move, but I thought the right thing to do was just to leave it alone. And, I guess now it was funny, Ziggy, because as her and her sister were posting pictures, I had different people sending me like, is that you behind Livy Dunn? And there's like 3 or 4 pictures where you just see me. I was having a great time. I kind of look miserable, but I'm just completely photobombing the pictures right over her shoulder. And it's like, oh, having a great time at the concert tonight, loving this moment. And you just see me like leaning over and staring at Taylor Swift.
Ziggy, I opened Livy Dunn's Snap story, and she probably has millions of followers on Snapchat. I opened her Snap story the night of the concert, and it's just like a selfie of her and her sister and some caption like, oh, having an awesome time, blah, blah. And Paul is there in the back of the photo.
It's just me with like my hands in my lap, just looking at the stage.
I'm like, this is insane.
So it was pretty funny, but I guess I found myself in a very unique position. I think I acted.
Livy, if you see this,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
we'd love to have you on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because
This
to be
is
fair,
special.
while I did photobomb a lot of her pictures, she also photobombed a lot of mine.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Because I, unintentional on both ends, of course.
Like you're taking pictures. She's right
But
there
I'm trying.
in front
Yeah,
of you.
I'm getting pictures of the stadium, and I'm getting pictures of the performance, and she's in those photos as well. So it goes both ways. It wasn't just me trying to sneak in these photos. It was very unintentional on both ends. But I guess if you see
Paul,
this,
I think you made a good choice not to approach her. This is the approach I picked with Zendaya in high school. It's the approach I picked with Olivia Rodrigo in high school too. So I know this can work. You don't want to go too far.
Yeah, Ziggy's high school is a magnet for like extremely attractive actresses.
You're serious?
No, Zendaya was.
Yeah, no,
He lives in Cali, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Remember Taylor Swift performed a music video at his high school.
Wow.
Yeah, one of my middle school science projects is in the Taylor Swift video.
Are we gonna make this a TikTok
Ziggy,
and then post it to Livy Dunn? At
what
Livy
are,
Dunn?
what are
We could try.
what are current odds on this day that one day your name ends up on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in a star?
Plus 650.
650.
Oh, I don't know about that, Paul. I'm thinking more like plus 350. I'm gonna be a star.
I was saying,
because this show. Hold on, because this show is
minus.
getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And if the show gets a star, that's basically me, right?
Yeah,
That would count.
That counts. I'd say it's minus like
Yeah,
400.
well, the show's a lock, so honestly, minus 110.
Yeah, minus 110.
Show's a lock. All right, it's everyone's favorite part of the show now when we start talking about random things. Today's topic, the superhero draft. And many superheroes, great superheroes, are on the board. The order today will go Ziggy, Paul, and then Jack. Jack has his eyes on someone. He is eyeing someone up very hard.
I love a certain superhero.
And Jack went so far to say that if he gets this guy, he might just call the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big superhero fan in general, but there's one guy who I love.
Please comment in the comment section. DC or Marvel fan? Your favorite superhero? Well, this topic can go on for a while. We're gonna have to be careful here. It's a good thing you're not a big superhero guy because it's a danger. We've already had a long episode. This could go on for a while. But Ziggy, why don't you start off? The 1-1 in the superhero draft is.
I'm so torn on this one, Paul. There's so many good choices, but face of a tough choice, I got to go Spider-Man.
I think that's the right
you're
pick.
talking Peter Parker, Miles Morales, like any Spider-Man, Spider-Pig, if you want, any of like the Spider-Man will do.
Damn you,
But
man.
classic Peter Parker. You know, he's a struggling young adult just like us. He tries to do the right thing even when it hurts. He's driven by personal loss, but he's not consumed by it like certain other superheroes. Just, I think, the best all-around superhero you could pick. Give me Spider-Man.
I totally agree. You're killing me these past few drafts. I think that's like 4 straight picks now. Yeah, 4 straight picks. Ziggy is just
Sniper,
picking the guy
boom.
you want. Oh,
What if you woke up? What if you woke up one day and you just went like that, and a web came out?
Oh, do you know how many times I've gone like yeah?
Whoa.
Do you know how many times I've gone like this and hoped something would come out?
What if it happened?
It's like a weekly occurrence.
No, I think I'd be scared. I think I'd be like,
I'd be terrified.
Yeah, I think
because now I have to become a superhero.
I would know. Oh, here's one thing. Before I do my pick,
you'd freak out. You'd be like, what the heck?
I'd be so excited. Yeah, I would be. Ziggy, here's one question before we move on with the draft that I've asked my brother before. If I could give you Spider-Man powers, okay? And this could apply to you guys as well. If I gave you Spider-Man powers, but you have to spin a wheel, and that wheel will land on one of Spider-Man's villains, who is then inserted into your world. And you can choose not to fight them if you want, but if you don't, it'll be chaos, and let's just pretend like New York City would be in a lot of trouble. Would you spin the wheel?
Hello?
Wait,
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? I'm doing a podcast. You're on air live.
I am not.
You are. You're right in front of the mic.
No, I'm not.
what is this?
Wow, I'm really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that I'm live on the
Debut.
Farrington show.
Yeah, this is the debut.
Dream come true. I don't know, apparently.
This is my mom. She's a super fan.
Hi, Mrs. Weinberger.
This show is recorded live for folks who don't know. This is absolutely spontaneous.
Oh, Maddie wants to be on the show.
All right, tell her to say something.
All right, say something. Hi.
That's my sister Maddie. Yeah, you're on. Hi, you're on.
Hi, everyone. This is Maddie Weinberger.
And exit the video.
All right.
Shout the show. Or she's not gonna say she's a big fan of the show. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
I'll call you guys back in like 10 minutes.
Wait, no, I'm looking for Dad.
Oh, I'm not home. Bye.
Oh, disaster.
What a great blooper reel. Yeah, phenomenal.
Wait.
Oh, there he goes.
It was just so funny.
There
You're
he
like,
goes.
I'm at the
Zach's
show.
laughing.
You're just like, I'm at the show. You're like, I'm at the show. Oh, I'm looking for Dad. Like you didn't just say you were at the show.
That could be a reel.
I mean, people forget, I mean, actually, people probably know, but we live at home. Like we have places.
Oh yeah,
We're called to come home.
yeah. I mean, I'm living in my house.
Okay, so
Speak for yourselves, guys.
all right. So are you guys spinning the wheel before I move on with the pick?
Yes.
You're spinning the wheel.
No.
Okay. No, you're not, Jack.
I totally missed what you said.
You spin the wheel. You get Spider-Man powers. Whatever villain it lands on from the Spider-Man universe, you could fight them if you want, but you probably.
You know how many people you're killing if you do that? No way you spend.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'd probably say no.
All right. Well, yeah. All right.
But I get Spider-Man powers.
Yeah. Let's say, yeah. I guess there's so many worlds. Okay.
You know
There we
what's
go. Let's
crazy?
continue.
And with Spider-Man, like when he does this, it comes from his wrists. It doesn't come from his hand. Like you think it comes from like his hands. It just comes from his
Well, it
wrists.
depends
No.
what you watch. I mean, sometimes it's the contraption. He
Yeah, but it
builds
actually
yeah.
comes from like the wrist.
Well, that's into Tobey Maguire, but no, I think normally he has like a device that shoots out,
Yeah.
like pressurized. But yeah, no, it is weird. All right, the 1-2. I tried not to do this to you, man, but I have to.
No!
I have to take Batman. I have to take Batman. I love Marvel a lot more.
This is incredible.
No.
What is this pick?
Batman.
Why is Batman 2?
No, Batman's
He's
so
the,
good.
he's the.
He sees the bat logo
No,
and it's all
great.
epic.
Yeah.
Oh, you have the cartoons. You have so many different actors have been Batman. The Christian Bale
This
movies.
is crazy.
The
We're
Dark
talking
Knight's
about
one of the best movies ever.
superheroes. We're not talking about actors.
No, but Batman is just, he goes so deep.
Oh
It's
my Jesus Christ.
comics, cartoons.
Okay.
Yes, but we're talking about. Never mind.
Batman-
I thought Batman could have gone 1-1.
Oh, yeah,
Honestly,
I think
I'm amazed to see this
He was
Batman.
my
This is
1-1.
incredible.
He was my 1-1.
Batman doesn't have any powers.
Who cares? That's what
He's not
makes him
even
so
a
great.
Superhero.
Well, of course he's a superhero.
He beat Superman.
What?
He beat Superman with
Yeah,
the,
you want to know why he
with the
beat
kryptonite-
Superman?
kryptonite ring.
Because they put it in the show. that
Writers
he
are
beat
dumb.
Superman.
Oh,
Yeah.
kryptonite.
That's the stupidest
Kryptonite.
thing.
Kryptonite ring.
The 1-1 and 1-2 to me were Spider-Man and Batman.
Yeah.
But now
Okay, so let's see who goes 1-3 here.
this
Let's see who
puts
goes
Jack in
1-3.
kind of a bind.
So, I mean, I'll take Superman by default because I have to.
I think that's a good pick.
But I mean, like, I wanted Batman. So I'll take Superman.
Superman's
I
my
think that's a
favorite.
great pick. The guy shoots lasers from his eyes. What does Batman through?
No,
He throws a little boomerang.
No, Batman's epic.
Dude, Batman's cool.
Batman's epic.
Okay,
Batman's
what is cool about Batman?
The
Real quick,
Batmobile.
real quick.
The shadows.
The
He lives in the
Batmobile,
shadows.
the shadows.
That's cool. He lives in
If
the
he
shadows.
doesn't get it, he doesn't get
doesn't
it.
get
Batcave,
it.
yeah. It's
He doesn't get it. He doesn't
the
get it.
costume. I mean, all of it's cool.
So I'll take Superman and Iron Man back to back.
Damn it. I wanted Iron Man. I love Iron Man.
Batman doesn't even fly. I can't get over this.
I had titanium bars. I called myself Iron Man for a long time.
Oh, that's who you should have picked. And let me take Batman.
I love Iron Man. Damn. All right. There's still some very good superheroes left on the board here. I'm going to go with Thor. I have to take the Viking. He's so cool. I love the lightning powers, the hammer, Mjolnir. He's just that big.
Yeah, Thor's a beast.
Yeah, I'll go Thor here. All right, and that brings us back to Ziggy with Spider-Man, heavy hitter right now on your roster.
Yeah, well, so I've got Spider-Man. I'm going to take another heavy hitter. Give me the Flash.
Okay.
Barry Allen, Wally West. They're powerful, so Zach should love them, right? They continuously reset the universe. They're really good. They've got different personalities. Love my boys.
I used to be called the Flash because I was a fast runner. You know that when I was like 8. I am the Flash.
And then I got to pick one more to finish it off.
I think right now, I think we all have very solid picks so far.
Yeah, this is a good draft.
This is a good draft.
I think it sucks.
I know I've got a bit of a tendency to pull out some
Mr.
really...
Incredible.
Yeah.
No, I'm not taking Mr. Incredible.
Go ahead, Ziggy.
Boy, I've got there's a lot of really strange picks I want to pull out here. But I think I want to win instead.
Coward.
It's gonna say like Green Lantern or something like that.
No, it's not. There's no way you take Green Lantern.
Give me the Wolverine.
That's not a bad pick. I think Wolverine.
Wolverine, grizzled. You get like those old man Logan takes. He's got strong powers. He's got interesting relationships. He shows them in Spider-Man comics all the time, which is a big W. If I were picking my favorites, this is where like Swamp Thing would slot in. But I can't take Swamp Thing, so give me Wolverine.
You disapprove of that, Jack?
I don't know who Wolverine is.
How do you not know who Wolverine is? He's the claws for coming out of his hands.
No.
You know who Wolverine is.
Like I said, I'm not a huge superhero guy.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just.
I know the Michigan Wolverines.
This is obvious. This is like
okay.
obvious.
I want to know who Jack's going to take with his last pick.
Look. You know the Wolverine. You've seen this guy before.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I've seen that guy. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I have no clue what he's on or what is he in.
He's an X-Men.
There are some good people left here, but and I guess I've already lost because Zach clearly dislikes Batman. I'm going to go with Captain America.
Batman's not a superhero.
I think Captain America.
No, I just won the draft because the pairing I'm about to have is unbelievable.
No,
okay.
Captain America is my pick. Do the right thing, man. In America,
so
greatest country in the world.
What do I have? I have Superman and I have Iron Man.
You're a pretty strong team.
All right, so Superman's the one, like he brings out the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta pair him with Wonder Woman.
Wow, I did not see you going
there. Okay, he's got two of the trilogy. Okay.
Yeah. Solid pick. I did not think you were going there.
This is like the worst draft possible for superheroes.
I thought you were going to. This is a fine draft, man.
Zach, who do you want me to take? Who do you want me to take?
I'd rather you take the Black Panther over budget Black Panther and Wolverine.
Budget Black Panther? What?
They're not even the.
He has no idea. I can't.
What do you mean? Okay, who are you taking in a fight? You taking Wolverine or you taking Black?
Wait, is this just who wins in a fight? Okay, give me Dr. Manhattan. Game over.
All right, so why are you drafting then?
It's best superhero. Like you think of superheroes.
This comes back to the Darth Vader Palpatine.
He's just going to pick whoever's the strongest.
If you're drafting the best, what are they the best at?
Well,
what are they the best at?
That's all the.
This is like saying the best villain is the one who's the strongest.
Like you think of superhero, Batman doesn't come to your mind immediately.
No,
like it's Batman.
No.
He doesn't believe Batman's. Okay, you know what, Zach? Your opinion's invalid. You're ridiculous. Just pick the winner so we can finish this.
Okay, so what are you guys drafting then? What are you drafting for superheroes?
It's a combination of many things.
Combination of many what?
Well, I think one of them.
Who would your top superhero be? Number one.
I think
my top superhero.
Who would you take number one? Who is it?
My top.
This is Dr. Manhattan because Dr. Manhattan's really strong.
Who is it? And you got to verify why.
No, I'm a big Iron Man guy. I got to tell you, Iron Man's a beast.
Okay, I drafted him. Who else?
I know you.
Who else on your list?
Who else on your list? Like, rattle off superheroes.
The next superhero would definitely be the Hulk. Right.
But the Hulk. Here's the thing.
What about the Hulk?
I like the Hulk. I think the Hulk could have been drafted here. But when we're talking about a combination, it's like
Groot.
Are they like cool? I think cool powers is one thing. The stories that they're in, are they well-known, iconic characters? Like, there's a bunch of different things that go into this. I don't think it's just like, oh, the Hulk can beat the crap out of I don't even know who.
Like you're
everybody but Batman.
telling me top 12 heroes like Superman, Batman, they're not on your list. Like
Superman will be up there, yeah, because Superman can actually do
Batman
things.
is not a
Batman's
top
not a top
12
12
superhero.
No, it's Batman is not a top.
or I guess top 9, right? Top 9.
He's got the best. He's got one of the best villains. He probably is the best villain of any
Yeah,
superhero.
that's insane. Yeah, that's
What?
insane.
The Joker.
What?
Well, the best villain's Reverse Flash.
Yeah. Reverse Flash.
All right, Zach, make your
All right,
pick.
Zach,
Make
here
your
we
pick.
go. So
Who wins?
here's our teams. Just to recap: Ziggy with Spider-Man, the Flash, and the Wolverine. Paul with Batman, Thor, and Captain America.
That's a good draft.
And Jack with Superman, Iron Man, and Wonder Woman.
Think of the 1-2 guard combo.
Hey, Captain America is the best point guard you'll ever find.
Then I got Superman and Wonder
Yeah,
Woman.
doesn't he scream point guard?
The backcourt that I have with Superman and Wonder Woman.
Imagine Captain America swinging to Batman as a wing.
No, Iron Man's better.
Oop
than
to
Captain
Thor.
America. Yeah, that'd be dirty.
I mean, Superman would be dominant.
Thor's probably not on Zach's list either.
All right, here we go.
Who's
Zach.
winning, Zach? Who's winning?
Thor would definitely be on my list, but the winner is I'm gonna give it to Jack.
Interesting. I did not see that coming.
I would have liked him to pick Captain Marvel over Wonder Woman, but
No, but I
I'll
had
take-
Superman though.
I can't. Captain Marvel over Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
I thought that Zach had some like reasonable opinions.
No,
This
he
is
has
just
no idea.
No, I have
outrageous.
good opinions. I have perfectly good. We're drafting the best superheroes. I'm drafting ones that are
This
going
guy's
to win in a
lunatic.
fight.
This guy's a
I'm
lunatic.
going to draft ones that are winning fights.
Why, Zach? Why isn't Doctor Manhattan the 1-1? He's literally omnipotent.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Jack
Yeah,
doesn't
why
know
isn't
who
he?
that
Because he's not as interesting. You don't know who Doctor Manhattan is?
No.
Okay.
Well,
yeah,
no, no,
these
but-
guys are
You know,
clowns.
it doesn't even. I mean,
But
Doctor Manhattan.
if he's a super strong superhero, then I
think
don't.
Doctor Manhattan is a good test of like what Jack is exactly saying. He's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
just because you're super powerful, like we're talking
Yeah,
stories,
I
we're
don't
talking
know.
villains, we're talking like
Like
everything
who
about
win
them.
a fight, Doctor Manhattan or Batman?
Oh, don't ask me.
Actually, Batman did win, but that.
Oh
was
my
a
God,
weird-
this guy's losing to Batman. This is incredible. This is
Doomsday
incredible.
Clock was super weird, but
Well, yeah, no,
set
but
that
like-
weirdness aside.
Like who'd win?
Like Batman's beating up all these
think
superheroes
anyone
that he doesn't
listening-
deserve to beat up.
Anyone listening, like Zach might just be the worst judge.
like
in the
who'd win,
world.
Hulk or like Spider-Man?
Hulk
I mean,
would destroy the Spider-Man.
But I take Spider-Man over the Hulk. Most people would.
oh yeah, in terms of
But in
drafting
terms of draft,
superheroes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think strength is like.
Ziggy could Spider-Man could probably beat Hulk, right?
Spider-Man's stronger than the Hulk.
Spider-Man couldn't beat Thanos.
Right, Devil's Reign Spider-Man #1 just confirms this. He is just stronger
I
than
think
the
Spider-Man
Hulk.
would beat Hulk. But regardless, like what you're saying is, to most people
Yeah.
would say the Hulk would win, and they'd still draft
Like, I
Spider-Man.
don't know what Dr. Manhattan is, but if he's strong, that's my point.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason
I
he
don't-
takes
I-
Batman over Superman.
Yeah.
All right, so
I bet you 90% of people out there would agree with me.
no,
Yes.
no.
Well, let's see it. Fans in the
yeah,
comments,
please
let us
comment.
know.
Is Zach? So let's just make sure we're asking the right question here. Can we just go with Batman? Is Batman a top
He's the-
12
is-
superhero?
Yeah, we'll go with
Well, top
Batman.
9.
Yeah.
Top 9.
Is
Is Batman a top 9
yeah, top 9 superhero.
Let's make it top 10. Round number.
Is
Batman,
Batman
top
a
10.
top 10 super? I mean, I'm not even gonna put this on the Instagram because it'll be
It's just so
embarrassing for the show.
stupid.
No. You will put this on the Instagram.
no, it's-
because this
No,
is
it makes us
this is
look bad.
crazy.
No, we're going to lose subscribers. Go.
It's like because I already put up Vader versus Palpatine, which was like 80-20. So like now
I'm surprised it was that.
Yeah, and now I have to
Yeah.
put up.
No.
This might be
Batman-
100-0 if Zach doesn't vote.
This is incredible. Batman's not even a superhero.
you don't- but
he's
you're not
just
looking
rich
at-
out of his mind.
You're not looking at like other elements beyond power. There's so much that goes into like a good superhero.
And what's the point of a superhero if they don't have powers?
Let's wrap this up, guys. I got to get going.
All right,
This is
well,
ridiculous.
Ziggy's already bailing out
We
because
will,
I just told the greatest question ever.
We will see you on the next episode. We have a DeAndre Hopkins top landing spots
Live.
video coming out. Yeah, live. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know about it. Hit us up in DMs, personal or show. It doesn't matter. Let us know what you think or if you have any topics, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
Zach, I just have to ask, are you literate?